Hello my friends. Here are a couple chairs. One is in real good condition and the other one is going to be needing to recane. And let me show you right here. You see this is real firm and none of the canes are broken. On this one you can see when I flex the movement in the back here. Okay, the other thing is, if you look real close, you'll see some breaks in the caning. So that's weakening the chair. And if you look to the underside, okay, it looks good, but when you feel it, you'll feel edges that are broken right in there. So if it was just a couple, I would just replace them, weave in new pieces. But because I counted at least 8, and I'm sure there's more because I wasn't extremely thorough, I'm going to recane the whole chair. So first thing that will have to be done is remove the existing caning, and the way you do that is you cut these loops on the bottom and then pull it out from the top. I'm going to use a sharp chisel and cut through those. If you mar the wood on the underside, it's not that bad as comparing to marking it on the top of the chair, which what you would see. So let's get started. Well, as I'm getting into this and removing the cane, cutting the cane, what I'm finding is, if you can see right in here, the wood is cracked right where the holes are. So that's going to have to be opened up and re-glued so that I have a solid frame. And I'm suspecting this back part is cracked the same way. So this is going to delay me one day in the caning, because to glue and let the glue dry, you have to leave it set overnight. So I'll finish this, remove the cane, and then we'll evaluate what the wood looks like and what repair we have to do. There were a couple in here where the cane was inside that crack, and I couldn't cut the cane. So for that reason I turned it over. I'm going to cut it from the top. And looking at the back, you point this out right here. This is a major crack. That's why the cane was moving. Okay, now all that has to be repaired. Here you can see the attempted repair. 1, 2, 3. 3 nails were driven into that piece because it's broken across through the holes, and they were trying to rely on those 3 nails to hold the seat together. So the proper way to fix this is remove the nails and finish the break so that you can get glue into there. And it looks to me like it's 1, 2, 3 sides that needs that repair. Well, let's see how it's going to go. If you look close, this is the back piece, and the break in here, it's being pulled this way. The bottom half is not cracked, so it's kind of hinged with the bottom piece of this wood. And this gap is open large enough that I can get glue in there and work it on both sides and then close it so I won't have to break that piece off. And the glue that I'm going to use is this Tight Bond. I'm using Tight Bond 2. It's a superior woodworking glue. It's a water resist. Use both interior and exterior. Now if I'm using something that's going to get wet, I'll use the Tight Bond 3. That's a waterproof type glue. It also is heat activated, where you could apply it to two surfaces, let it dry, and then apply an iron, like when you're doing veneer on a piece of furniture. You can iron that veneer right on it. The heat will reactivate the glue and stick it together like a contact cement. So this is what I'm going to put in, and what I'll do is apply the glue in each one of these cracks, and I'll work it down and make sure that it gets to both sides. And then we clamp it. And you can be a little bit sloppy with this because it'll drip through the bottom. If the holes get glue clogged, we just run our drill bit back through the holes to make the holes consistent opening. Okay, it's dripping. I moved it into a section in the garage where I can let the glue drip, and I'll be okay with that. Okay, we'll do one side at a time. Okay, now for clamping, this is what I'm going to use. Rubber band from Inner Tubes. Okay, I'm using this rubber tube for my gluing clamp, and each time you wrap it, you stretch the rubber, and once you go around the first time, it'll hold itself. Each time you stretch this, it has an cumulative effect on adding more force to each one. And I'll do this until I know it's pulled those two pieces in together. And I prefer using this rubber because it's not going to mar the wood like a hard clamp. Of course, you could put blocking on the hard clamp to reduce it, but this is my preferred choice. You can see it's almost closed. I'm going to stay away from this because I want to fill that gap with a wood sliver. And I'll run this the rest of the way down. And when I come to the end, I have my finger in there. And we just pull this tag end through, and that'll lock it. Here's the back, glued and under clamping pressure using rubber tube, inner tube as the clamp. Here's that slot that was missing a piece of wood. I cut a sliver. I have the grain running, matching the grain of the others. I have it oversized, and when the glue dries, I'll use a chisel and chisel it flush. That'll make a solid repair to that joint. Now to open the crack in this side, to allow the glue to get into it, I need to expand the wood, and I'm going to use the tapered pins that you use to lock your reed in. So I'm going to place these pins in, tap it lightly at a couple different spots, and push that crack open that I can work glue down into that joint. See, I pushed it all the way down into there. So through most of this I can get my glue worked down into that joint. Then I'll pull the pins, and this has the horizontal slot, and what I like to do is put that slot over there, squeeze the glue, and use the hydraulic pressure from the liquid of the glue. And I'm working the glue down into the cracks, and you got to remember to pull those wooden pins, or else you'll have those permanently attached into those holes. You'll be drilling them out. I removed the clamping pressure, and it sat overnight. Then what I did is I took a drill and drilled every hole through to clean out any residual glue or any pieces of wood that I glued in as a filler. And then what I did is right in between some of the holes I piloted some holes, and then I countersunk the holes and ran screws in. And that's additional support. And one reason why I did that is, if you can see some of the areas in here where the wood has chipped out, that would not have equivalent strength even with the gluing. So for that reason I did that extra security with screws, and being countersunk, they won't ever be noticed. Thanks for watching, my friends. Bye-bye.